Talking points for beyond the election that are useful for us all. I have to watch what I say so I don't get too personal. There's a gentleman who's my age, and he's walking down the street pulling a wagon with a toddler about 2 or 3 years old in the back. They're having fun, and I'm talking to him, and he's explaining that the young man's mom can't afford child care between rent and food and car repairs and those sorts of things. It just isn't into budget to make ends meet, just like millions of other gals now. I look around, and right over here and right over there, house after house, there's a vote for Kamala Harris sign in their front yards. There are childless cat ladies and all sorts of things. That's enough. I don't normally talk to them. I normally talk to the good guys, but let's talk to them for a moment. You, go to hell. You built the darn thing. You get out of those houses, you get a garbage sack, and you go form a class of peasantry beneath the class of peasantry that has to come up with rent and food and groceries, and they just won't make ends meet. You're the one that caused that young man to live in poverty. These are the people who own their own houses, and they got into houses before the price of houses skyrocketed. They caused the price of houses to skyrocket. It's no longer about Democrat or Republican. It's about them throwing out decency as a formal argument and becoming as malicious as a human being can get. All they had to do was get onto a maintenance level, and they chose to throw that out. They chose to be the upper class. You can also see Kamala Harris. I can look at that 2-year-old or 3-year-old, and then I can picture Kamala Harris doing nothing the entire election but bobbing her head up and down and criticizing everything else. Straight out of those books, straight out of Saul Alinsky and the communists, and evidently what the Muslims do, and evidently some Chinese book called The Art of War. They hustle, and that's all there is to it. They have no sense of love and no sense of guilt in them. Now there's you. This anecdote is to you. They're the ones who committed an act of violence. It all starts in their head, and you're just not getting out of being confrontive to them. And so the choice is yours. You're either confronted to them and get that young man into a house, and that young gal who's obviously seems to be a professional home economist, or that young man starves and life goes on. It's your choice. You have to defend a third person. Let's keep this up. How much money does that 2 or 3-year-old need to pay for his mom to come across with food and clothing and everything else? How about the mom's budget? How much of a budget does she need to run a household? And that includes food, and it doesn't include rent. It might include mortgage, but not rent. And how about a dentist? She needs a dentist. How much does a dentist cost? Or car repair? Does she have a gentleman friend? And if she has a gentleman friend, and that guy is going to take on the young man as a junior, he should make more than enough money to make ends meet. And arranging the parameters of competition so that that young man makes enough money to support a wife and child is the proper role of government. That's your department. That's what they threw out, and that's what you and I have to put back. We have other anecdotes, but for this one, the choice is yours. You could come out and say, in no uncertain terms, these elections are all a fraud. They're just a joke. You don't compete with those guys. You vote amongst us over in this camp. And that's what you can do. Well, the choice is yours. We'll see you.